Like almost everything connected with the growth of the electric vehicle market in New Zealand, the arrival of Volkswagen's ID family of EVs is happening rapidly. And here we have the next top model in the German brand's stable of premium EVs. It's the sleek and spacious ID.5. Now you might be thinking, wait, hasn't this car already been launched? And you'd be right, sort of. You might possibly be thinking of the ID.5 sibling, the ID.4. You may remember the pre-production vehicle I drove at the beginning of 2023. Now both models are available in dealerships. The ID.5 is essentially a coupe-style version of the ID.4 SUV, featuring a fastback roofline to contrast with the more conventional SUV silhouette of the ID.4. But they share the same powertrain and offer the same specification, with Pro and Pro Plus versions of each available to Kiwi drivers. Not everything is the same between the ID.4 and the ID.5. We've obviously got the roofline that we've already mentioned, but the ID.5's grille design is also a little bit more aggressive looking, and it sits about 7mm lower to the ground than the ID.4 as well. The rear overhang is also slightly longer, and obviously that sounds a bit like a trivial point of difference, but it does translate to more luggage space in this car, about 15 litres more in fact. The sleeker profile helps the ID.5 slip through the air more efficiently too. And better aerodynamics means the ID.5 boasts slightly better range, an impressive 530 kilometres from a full charge, according to WLTP testing, versus a maximum 519 kilometre range on test for the ID.4. While we're on the subject, what do we actually mean by WLTP test figures? Well, every manufacturer is obliged to put their new electric model through a series of laboratory tests. This is known as the Worldwide Harmonised Light Vehicle Test Procedure, or WLTP for short. And the key thing to stress there is that it is a laboratory test, it's not a real-world scenario. So why have it, you might be asking? Well, the test procedure is the same for every manufacturer. It doesn't matter what type of car or the badge on the bonnet. This means that those WLTP figures that you see can provide a fair and accurate comparison from vehicle to vehicle. It's actually a really powerful tool for you, the consumer, to have. So what about that real-world range then? Well, it might surprise some people, but in terms of range, an EV will respond to driving style and other environmental factors exactly like a petrol-powered car would. If you accelerate aggressively and floor it everywhere in a petrol car, you use more fuel. And so it goes with an EV. Drive hard and your range will deplete faster. And of course there are all sorts of other factors that will influence your range, such as weather, temperature, whether you're driving in an urban setting or out on a winding open road. But generally speaking, and presuming you're driving to the conditions, you can anticipate your real-world range to be roughly 75 to 80% of the WLTP test figure. Speaking of percentages, 50% of Kiwis reckon that their next vehicle will either be a plug-in hybrid or a full battery electric vehicle like this one. And it's when you get into cars as accomplished as the Volkswagen ID.5 that you realise that cars like this are making that purchase decision all the easier. It's also getting easier to charge these vehicles out and about and on longer trips as well, and that's handy because that's something that the spacious dimensions of the ID.5 are really suited to. For rapid charging, there's no need to get the cable out of the boot, as all rapid chargers have the cable attached to the charging unit. Once you open the filler door, you'll need to lift the flap to reveal the two additional DC ports. It's these two ports that transfer the DC current into the battery. With rapid charging, you can get the battery of your ID.5 back up to around 80% in as little as 28 minutes. Now you might be wondering, why 80%, why not 100%? Well, like any rechargeable device, the battery inside the ID.5 slows the charging process down as it gets fuller in order to protect itself. You can, of course, charge the car to 100%, you'll just have to take a little bit longer to do so. You can also charge the ID.5 with a wallbox charger at home. Many EV owners have these installed, and there are several providers to choose from in New Zealand. Just ask your Volkswagen dealer for more info. A 7.2 kilowatt unit will charge the ID.5 from empty to full in around 13 hours. So for many owners, it makes sense to plug your car in when you get home in the evening, and it'll be fully charged and ready to go by the next morning. Once charged up and out on the road, the ID.5 offers up an engaging drive experience. The rear-wheel drive ID.5 has maximum power of 150 kilowatts and maximum torque of 310 newton meters. It's powered by a robust 77 kilowatt hour battery, which comes with an 8-year factory warranty for extra peace of mind. The coupe-style SUV rides on a chassis that's been engineered for a sportier feel, and the all-electric setup suits this, with instantaneous torque delivery helping to deliver a smooth and responsive driving experience. The battery placed under the floor provides for a low centre of gravity and a 50-50 weight distribution. So despite having the dimensions of an SUV, the ID.5 really hugs the road when you get off the motorway. It's actually a really compliant and engaging drive. As with its sister model, the ID.4, the ID.5 interior showcases an impressive level of high-tech, standard comfort, convenience and safety features. Highlights include a big 12-inch high-resolution touchscreen, advanced keyless entry and go, premium microfleece wrapped seats and a 30-colour ambient cabin lighting system. The standard safety suite is similarly impressive, featuring technologies such as lane keep assist, autonomous emergency braking, blind spot monitoring and a 360-degree area view monitor to help with tricky parking situations and detect potential hazards. Volkswagen has kept the interior of the ID.5 very minimalist in nature, and even with the fastback roofline there's still plenty of head, leg and shoulder room even here in the back. There's also no transmission tunnel, which means there's more space both for passengers here in the rear of the car and for clever storage solutions up front. The new Volkswagen ID.5 is available in two trim levels. The entry-level Pro, as seen here, costs $86,490 plus on-road costs, while the Pro Plus will retail for $95,490 plus on-road costs. And if you hurry, the Pro is retailing for a special entry-level price of $79,990 drive away until the 31st of August or while stocks last. That's a rebate under the New Zealand Government's Clean Car Scheme of $7,015. The growth of the ID family is rapid. We have the ID.2, ID.3, ID.7 and even a sportier ID.4 GTX all due next year. And that's not to forget the ID Buzz lineup of vehicles which will deliver a futuristic take on the classic combi van of old. So get used to seeing that ID name. It might very well adorn your next Volkswagen.
Volkswagen.